The dumbest drug-related shit I've ever done was on my own, so I can't really blame him for all the trouble I get into. Because the dumbest drug-related shit I've ever done is I accidentally joined a Romani gypsy drug smuggling ring on the border of Serbia and Bulgaria. Complete accident. What happened was, it was a night train from Belgrade, the capital of Serbia, to Sofia, the capital of Bulgaria. I was on this night train, it was very busy. You couldn't move anywhere. You couldn't move in the corridors, you couldn't move in the carriages. So I went and I slept next to the toilet. A lot of space, but it stunk of shite. Opportunity cost, didn't it? Now I wake up to the sun blazing through the window of the train and the train at a standstill for reasons I do not yet know. And I get up and I see all these Romani gypsies and they're hiding 200 packs of cigarettes and these big blocks of white powder I can only assume to be speed, right? And I wake up and the thing you got to know about Romani gypsies is they kind of look like indigenous Peruvian Inca tribes if they'd robbed a Sports Direct warehouse. You know, that's kind of how they look. They've sort of swapped the spears and the tribal tattoos for, like, sportswear that should have ended in 1997. We're talking, like, Kangol, Slazenger, and one of them was wearing a West Brom away top from the 93-94 season. I have no idea why. Now, if you go to Serbia or you go to Bulgaria, you will not see many brown faces. You will see tourists like me, and then you will see Romani gypsies. So I get up and all these Romani gypsies are very hurriedly and very panically hiding all this speed, hiding all these cigarettes. And in their panic, in their hurry, they must have just seen another brown face, and they turn to me and throw me a block of speed. And I'm stood there and I'm shitting myself because I don't want to piss off the Romani gang, but at the same time I don't want to join them. But I have to make a decision in a split second, and I fucking joined them. And what I did was, I just hid the block for them, right? And then I turned round for a second one, and they went to give me a second one, and then they realised I wasn't with the group. So they started screaming. The head honcho just started screaming in Romani. I started screaming. Everyone was screaming. Then I just put my hand up, and there was this very tense silence. You could cut it with a knife. I put my hand up, and I just very awkwardly pointed at where I'd hidden their original block of speed, looked at the head honcho and just went... And the head honcho looked at the original block of speed where I'd hidden it, looked at his second in command, looked back at me and just went... And then they handed me more speed to hide. And then I realised why we'd stopped. Because we'd hit all this speed, and the reason we'd stopped is because we were at border control between Bulgaria and Serbia. And we're at border control, and all the border officers come on, they try and find all the contraband, and they find it in a minute. Straight away, they find all the cigarettes, all the speed, and they drag the entire gang of Romani gypsies off the train, me included at this point. And they line us all up outside the train, and you got 1, 2, 3, me, then the head honcho. At this point, I have no idea how I've made it into second in command. It's just fucking happened. And they're grilling the first three, and they're grilling them in Romani, Bulgarian, a language I don't quite understand. And then they come to grill me, and as soon as they grill me, I just go, sorry mate, English, I've got no idea what you're saying. And the customs officer shits himself. He has to see my passport. I show him my passport, and he shits himself. He goes, oh, sorry, back on the train now. He shits himself because he thinks he's accidentally racially profiled a British Asian tourist. He hasn't. At this point, I was second in command. I was fully committed to this group. And I go back on the train, and I was sort of committed to this group at the point. And I really should have realised it was a stupid idea, gone to the other end of the train, pretend it never happened. But at this point, I really did feel committed. So I was just sort of stood in the window, kind of watching it unfold, like, come on, Team Romanis! Captain, my captain! They start grilling the captain. And the head honcho just very calmly has a word with them, calms them all down, pulls out 200 euros out of his back pocket, gives it to the customs officer, and the customs officer gives them all their contraband back and lets them all back on the train. And as they come on the train, I'm stood there with a big goofy grin, just high-fiving each of them as they come on. Except the last one. I went to high-five him, but then I realised he wasn't part of our gang. He was actually the customs officer that was grilling us, right? So I went to high-five, and instead of high-fiving him, I shit myself and just started pretending I was dancing Bhangra to no music. But then the most awkward thing about it was he still felt guilty about what he thought was racially profiling me, so he just joined in. There we were, just me and the customs officer. Everyone on the train started looking out as if like there wasn't Wi-Fi on this train, but there was a Punjabi silent disco.